Rhythm Heaven Groove is finally here, and we have been waiting so long for this series to return, like about a decade. And we've been waiting over a year for Rhythm Heaven Groove to release, since it was announced all the way back in March 2025. But now that it's out, and I got some time to sink my teeth into this game since I got up to Stage 5, I wanted to give my initial thoughts on the full game. I did play the demo, but now I have a better idea of what this game is like now that I've gotten to play a lot of the rhythm games here. And I gotta say, this is absolutely a Game of the Year contender for me. This game is absolutely incredible. Definitely one of the best games in this series, and just a really fun and satisfying game overall. It honestly has that 2000s / early 2010s Nintendo charm, like kind of like the Wii / DS era feeling. Like, I still like Nintendo nowadays, and I do think Nintendo like still has charm in a lot of games, but I feel like Rhythm Heaven Groove kind of hits like a certain place. It kind of feels nostalgic in terms of its vibe and its feeling and everything. I know the style isn't exactly like the older Rhythm Heaven games, but it definitely takes a lot of inspiration from it and a lot of cues, and a lot of the older artists and like series veterans are involved with this game and everything, so it definitely still has that vibe of the older Rhythm Heaven games, so I do kind of get that feeling there. And in terms of the rhythm games themselves, like, they're just as good as the other games in the series. I would even say some of them are even better than a lot of the ones I've played in the previous games. And keep in mind, I've played DS and Megamix. They are very fun and satisfying, and it doesn't feel like they toned down the difficulty at all. It's just as challenging as it was before, which I really like. I feel like that's part of the appeal of Rhythm Heaven. It's easy to get into because there aren't a lot of inputs, but it's very hard to master. It's definitely going to take a lot of tries to get a perfect or even an amazing in some of the stages. So it definitely retains that challenge that it had before, which I really appreciate. There are some rhythm games that are pretty easy, and I think that might just be because I've played some of the other games in the series before, but they still are fun and they still are satisfying. But then there are others that are pretty difficult overall, especially the 8-bit one. Like, it's fairly early on in the game, but there's like basically a game developer that kind of looks like Penny Crygor from WarioWare, and she like made a game that you have to test out, and that one is definitely pretty challenging to even get an amazing in. So it definitely varies in terms of difficulty in these rhythm games, but they're all really fun. Like, there really isn't one that I've encountered so far that I didn't at least have a little bit of a good time with. And I also love the music in this game as well. I mean, you can't have a Rhythm Heaven game without an absolute banger of a soundtrack, but each of the rhythm games have some excellent music. Like, there's even some lyrical tracks as well, like the previous games. And while they weren't dubbed to be in English, they still do sound very good. These are definitely songs that I'll be listening to outside of the game itself, and I really hope the full soundtrack is added to Nintendo Music soon. I know it kind of got a little selection recently, just a couple days ago, so I'm glad that Rhythm Heaven can be on Nintendo Music, because I was a little worried about licensing issues. But I hope the full Rhythm Heaven Groove soundtrack is added soon. But Tsunku absolutely delivered here with the soundtrack. It is incredible, as well as the other composers that are involved with Rhythm Heaven. It is just amazing so far from what I've heard. And I also love the art style and presentation of this game as well. It's partially why this game reminds me of Nintendo's Wii and DS era so much. So, Ko Takeuchi returns as the art director in this game, and I feel like his style has been very consistent over the years. It has changed a little bit, but his style is hard to replicate. It's just very special, and it definitely reminds me of that era of Nintendo quite a lot. And it's just like very cute and wacky at the same time. It strikes the perfect balance, I would say. And I like how certain rhythm games have different art styles to them as well. I know we did see, like, with pre-release footage, that they did change some of the rhythm games to be more like the core Rhythm Heaven art style, but there are some that still retain their kind of original, more stylized look, like Hop, Stop, and Roll, as well as, like, a few others as well. I think, Ribbit Rocket, and the one where you're, like, catching bugs, they kind of, like, have a slightly different art style from, like, the rest of Rhythm Heaven, which I appreciate. I feel like that kind of adds a bit of variety here. Like, the style and presentation here is great, and I really like what they're doing here. It feels very consistent, and it feels like the next proper step in the Rhythm Heaven series. And that's just what I like about this game in general. It doesn't have any super crazy gimmicks and things. It does have some really cool new modes, but I really appreciate the fact that this is just a new Rhythm Heaven game. That's really all I wanted, honestly. I just wanted more Rhythm Heaven, and I think that's perfect. That's what the series needed, and it's also a great entry to introduce new people to Rhythm Heaven, because, like I said, it's like Rhythm Heaven is a series that's easy to get into, but hard to master. But yeah, those are my thoughts on the game so far. I absolutely recommend it from what I've played so far. I mean, it's only $40. I mean, yeah, sure, there are technically games that are better deals than Rhythm Heaven, like Silk Song or certain other, or Deltarune as well, but like, Rhythm Heaven Groove is still absolutely worth the price, and I am really enjoying it so far. But anyways, let me know what you think down in the comments, and thank you guys for watching this video. Make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more, and make sure to check out my Discord server and Blue Sky if you want to. Stay perky!